Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year. It's going to be a great year in 2024. So 2023, this session or this Moss on Sunday is going to be really fantastic because we can, wash away or learn from what we did back in 2023. Not just 2023, but maybe 2023 and then, before since the dawn of time. Um, so again, Happy New Year. This is Carolyn T. Just reached midnight here, so a very Happy New Year to you, Carolyn. It's kind of crazy how time works, right? Um, different time zones, different New Year's. How does that all that work? And actually, it's kind of confusing for everybody because, in a sense, time should just be constant, but in reality, in this physical reality, it's not. And it's a deeper indication on, there's on having so many different realities that we won't get into because that's about, say, space and time and how we can all create, say, financial abundance or any type of abundance. And that's really the key. Once you understand the space and time or how, say, the multiverse works or how the universe creates itself, or the physics of the universe, or physics of nature. You look at nature; it's always very abundant. It's always in its natural state. It's always in, say, harmony with everything else around it, outside of humans. A lot of people try to save the planet, save the whales, save this, save the pollution and all that. That shit never really works. I'm not, poo-pooing all their fantastic efforts, feeding the poor and so on like that. But if you look at it through the years, when there's like financial instability or instability as a whole in cultures, there's also people who are more ill, more bankrupt, more depressed, and everything rises. Although technology-wise, it's, say, the best time for that season. Kind of crazy, right? How we're trying to balance, or how nature's trying to balance itself out, or how the human species is trying to balance itself out. It doesn't know, but it doesn't know how to balance itself out because it's using, say, physical actions or physical ideas or solutions, again, say, like money, to balance itself out, and it doesn't really work. I just want to talk about how money works a little bit, or and why there's so much debt and why we're feeling the burdens, because it's not just, some government entity printing too much money. It's not about, the deep state owning, all this, and it's got it's got, obviously, the physicalness of that has, that's what we're seeing and that's what's affecting us. But, what are the deeper reasons on why we're in so much, why we're so much into so much debt? Okay. All right. So, and it goes really far back, by the way. And since then, we haven't really, say, corrected it, which is the sad thing, right? We haven't really corrected it. Hence, it gets worse and worse and worse, or we get more into debt. So I want to talk about that. And then the second half, part two, on these impact frequency sessions, we're going to be talking about these lovely young, not young, some of them are a little older, lovely individuals who might have, say, financial issues in their life, and how we can resolve it in a very, very different way, like we have with thousands of others. All right, so why are we in so much debt? Okay, and even if you look at, say, a lot of the billionaires that I know, and a lot of people around the world, you get to see that, they're in a lot of trouble, probably more trouble than the natural, the average Joe that's making, maybe 50 to $100,000 a year. Right? Why are they in so much trouble? Because they're feeling or experiencing the burdens of debt. So a couple things that I just want to glean by. We can't go into too much detail. It's just not enough time for it. It's a whole lecture series on it. But one, when you're exchanging money, in the past, money was money. It had some intrinsic value. It was based on gold and so on like that. But now, and by the way, if you I go deeper into it in some Moss on Sunday. So I don't know if the team can put that up, the link for those who are new, by the way. But so debt back in the day, again, actual intrinsic value, gold. Okay, that's the mistake. Before, we had animals or wives or whatever, or land and sheep and so on like that. That was intrinsic value. But before that, the real intrinsic value or the origin of intrinsic value is your essence or your spirit. Okay, your God-given, say, right, your God-given, say, piece of real estate, hence your body, your platform to represent yourself in this reality. Right. So that's how far back I want to go. The original form, and obviously it's been distorted by, the religions or religious scriptures and so on like that, although very pure. All right, so take a deep breath in. We'll make it an experiential experience for you so we understand, so we can clean up all that stuff, because that's what this show is about. It's not about just, say, more mental stuff that we put here and then you spew out at some party that you're discussing. It's about, say, shifting and transforming who you are so we don't have to, say, recreate this bullshit over and over again, right? Throughout humankind. So, again, your intrinsic value, original intrinsic value is your essence or your spirit. Right? Back in the day, I'm not going to name names or anything, but somebody started to realize your intrinsic value is your spirit or your essence. I call it your timeless self. And that's where they started to start to own you. This is where they certain religions and scriptures and certain things that people did back in the day, customs, traditions, seances, and, all that stuff that they did back in the day was, and it's kind of heavy, right, for the end of the New Year's, but it's really fantastic, by the way. Right? Because we can leave all that shit behind and then we can start fresh. So by the end of this, guys, it gets easier and better and happier for you because you're letting go of a lot of stuff. You can't party with, if you've got a lot of burdens on you, right? So anyway, and like Gwen said, don't forget to hit the like button. Thanks, Gwen. So take a deep breath in again, guys. All right. So back in the day, people started to realize, a certain group of people started to realize that, gosh, you know what? Your original form or your origin or real intrinsic value is your essence, your spirit, because nobody can take that away from you. Okay. They can take away your sheep, your land, and so on like that. But then it got transferred into, land, sheep, gold, and so on. That was the most recent. And now it's Bitcoin, or now it's actually, I mean, yeah, it's Bitcoin. But now, since the don't quote me on this, 70s, so on, when Nixon totally, completely took us off the gold standard, that burden of, say, debt that the country owes, and all countries, not just the US, is based on your essence, your actual intrinsic value. Okay. So imagine that. So they replaced the value of the dollar by, from physical a platform to, say, your real intrinsic value, your essence. Hence, as the government prints more money, no matter who it is, you're gonna be pulling away. You're gonna be, you say, owing more debt. So each, I don't know how much it is. It's like per person in the U.S. It's like a couple $100,000. I think two or $300,000 per person in the U.S. that now the debt is. Okay, so that's a lot of money. It'll never get paid, by the way, and I'll tell you why. And this is why we see more debt. And this is where you are experiencing debt in your own household, no matter how much money you make. Again, even if you're, a trillionaire, this is why you're not gonna feel, say, the blessings. Although you'll have, say, everything you need, the physicalness of this reality. You'll have a nicer home or homes or luxury yachts and so on like that. Like, uh, the guy from Amazon, right? He's got this beautiful luxury yacht, but again, he's feeling the pinch. And this is why. Because as you pull away the natural intrinsic value of who you are and you get sucked, literally get sucked out of your essence or your presence, you're going to feel a hell of a lot of debt, a hell of a lot of debt on you. And that's what you're experiencing. So, with that in mind, as you come into debt or people start to own you, how many of you are really empathic, right? So, if you said yes, you're feeling more, say, impact on, say, the financial crunch, because the finances now or money has turned into, say, something that's more tangible, right? Actual, say, physical money. Okay, so the other aspect of this is that, well, money is basically a debt note. It's not, it doesn't have any value. It's a debt. And I just want to talk about that, and then we'll get into the impact sessions. Okay. So the impact, so money, if you look at it, is borrowed, like the Federal Reserve or the US government borrowed money from the Federal Reserve, right? So, but the deal is that for every dollar, they have to say pay a penny or two for every dollar that they print. So, and it doesn't seem like a lot, but over the years, you can't pay that debt back because one, it's in the same currency as the debt itself. So you can never have enough money to pay that debt back. Because if you borrow a dollar and you owe a penny on it, so it's a dollar one. So you would have to borrow another dollar to pay that debt back. Does that make sense to you? Because that's the currency that's in place right now. So the more money, the more you want to pay that debt back, the more money that you would have to borrow, hence increasing the debt. Do you see that cycle? Okay, so let's put that onto, say, your sovereignty or your freedom, right? Your parents borrowed against you, right? Your grandparents borrowed against you. You are carrying the debt or you are carrying the burdens, right? From like heart disease, all the diseases that you have, all the, say, distortions in life, or the lack of abundance that you have. That's basically the debt of your family lineage that you're carrying. And then you add all the families together, and then you have the human species. So that's a hell of a lot of debt. And over the years, why cultures or civilizations crash is because there's so much debt. People have sold their souls literally, or their essence of who they are, and they crash. Hence, the economy crashes, and that's where we are. So this is a great opportunity to go, okay, let's clean out that debt because that debt was never real anyway, like your debt that you have, the heart issues or diabetes or all the diseases that you have, the illness patterns that you have, it was never your debt anyway. So you can write it off, right? I'm just giving you a physical example on why there's so much, say, financial uncertainty happening here. And that's where the alchemy comes in. You need to understand, say, how this debt was created, or the mechanics or the chemistry of debt worldwide, because you're part of the human species, to get rid of it. And you go, I don't want to be part of that anymore. I don't want to be part of that debt. Right? To give you an example closer to home, if you're a woman, and again, men are the same, but I'm just talking about a woman. If you're a woman, right? You carry the debt of all the burdens and all the greatness that women have experienced in this, say, human realm, in the human species. But what you do is you own it. You have, so all the abuse, all the rapes, all the attacks, all the um, definitions of what a woman is. Hence, most women don't know what they are. They're a little more sensitive, than men. So that's why I'm talking about it. But so what you do is you go, I'm not all that. I don't want to pay that debt off. I just want to be this, right? So that's a hell of a lot of debt. Think about it. So you want to release all that. And again, since it's not yours, you don't have to, say, pay it back. It was never yours in the first place. All right. So take a deep breath in. This is beautiful. Angel Cha. God doesn't want us to be in debt. We should be the head and not the tail. Exactly. That's basically what it is. Okay. And again, when you're lending somebody, we should lend and not borrow. And here's another thing, just to clarify, and that's where we get misrepresented. You can lend, but don't lend of your presence or your essence. You can lend, your money, your goat or whatever that you want to do, But what most people do when they're helping people, they're actually going, here, take a piece of my essence or take a piece of my spirit. And you do not want to do that because then over time, again, this is how we've gotten, and this affects our genetic makeup, by the way. It affects our evolution of our species. Um, on this, some of you, again, who are new, going, what the hell is this guy saying? Listen, let it sink in. Okay. Let it sink in, and then you'll get to the base understanding of what I'm talking about, and you go, "Oh shit, okay, that's how deep or that's how meaningful it all is, and that's where the origin of debt comes from." Okay. One last thing is that debt is exponential. By the way, just like I said, if you're paying a penny against each dollar, okay, and that's not it's more than a penny, but just in that simple situation, over time you've got trillions of dollars. So you've got a hell of a lot of money that you got to pay back and you borrow, right? So in your life, when you say go out and go do something to pay off your debt, like get a mortgage or get a job or whatever, you're exchanging more of your presence, your real self, for that fake dollar. And again, over time, you can't exchange anymore. Your family is exchange a lot from you. You're in your lifetime, you're exchanging. In fact, you're borrowing against your children. So your children has a lot of debt on you, from you. That makes sense? And that again, that's where the generations say start to fail. All right. So over time, and you'll see this, and this is why back in the day, we were just talking to a great friend of mine last night. Back in the day, you could buy a really nice car in the 70s, 80s for about, say, so at a high end, five to $10,000. Okay, at a high end. Now, the same car is worth what, 30, 40, $50,000? Okay. Back in the day, if you were a millionaire, you were good. Now, what's happening? You'd have to be a billionaire. Again, they're not making any more money. Your dollar back in the day, 1913, was dollar for dollar. Now that dollar is, say, it's worth less than literally the paper that it's printed on, because your dollar is, say, $20 is, say, like is like 2 cents for you. Okay. So back in the day, what was worth $20 is now 2 cents for you today. But I don't even believe that. It's actually your every dollar that you spend, and this is where it gets cyclical or exponential. Every dollar that you spend, you're taking on more debt. So every dollar is valued at, say, I would say at a negative 10 or 20 cents. That's how much borrowing we've done, especially over the last 3, 4 years, right? Since COVID. That's crazy, right? So every dollar that you spend, the value is about, say, negative 20 cents. So you have to pay in more, and it gets exponential. Think about it. Is your life running that way? Kind of crazy, right? And this is very, very, say, spiritual or very, very religious, because if you look at all the religious scriptures, they talk about debt a lot, right? They talk about owning your soul. This is the deep value or the mechanics on how to take back your soul or your spirit. So it's a great opportunity as you take a deep breath in to let go of all that debt and restructure yourself, just like you would, restructuring your physical finances, restructuring your frequency finances. Okay? And then your physical financial security is actually basic financial security for you. All right. Um, okay, so let's jump on to these lovely individuals. These are impact sessions where we can, say, actually impact you, transform your life, not by decades, but maybe in about 5 or so minutes for you. And you'll see how deeply or how fast we can actually get to the core level on why things happen the way they do for people. All right. All right. So we'll go to Martine first and then to Mark. Hello.
Yes. Hi, Mas.
Hey, how are you,
How
hon?
you doing? Good, good. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, I'm happy you are here. So we'll just jump right in, if you don't mind, just because of time. Let's take a deep breath in, on Martine, and just notice your upper chest, upper lungs. Again, not a doctor or anything like that. So whatever I say, you want to take, your advice, or look into it more on that. But do you have lung issues, or does somebody in your family have like lung issues or something to that effect?
No, but I've had a cold that is lingering for the past month. I don't know why, because I'm usually strong. I don't know why it's lingering so much.
Okay, so maybe that's what I'm seeing. All right. So it could be,
Mhm.
again, symptoms of long COVID and so on like that. So you want to do whatever, that they do to get rid of symptoms of long COVID. But let's help you out frequency wise. That's also, Martina, where you also say hold on to people's burdens or you worry a lot here. Does that make sense? If somebody
Yes.
hurts you, you'll feel it in your heart. Okay. So does that make sense?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yes, I
And
do.
then also, Martine, how long have you been with XI?
I've been with XI for a long time, for the past 6 years, but I haven't been really,
Uh,
um,
Kind of off
for
and
the
on.
past 3 years, I have because of scarcity, money issues, I haven't
Yeah.
been able to join.
Okay.
Mhm.
Got it. And by the way, guys, we're working on that. Again, we've got a big team, to support as well. We're a business, we're a profitable business. We got to take care of that. But there's going to be a lot of, say, opportunities for individuals who don't have the money to join in on the XI movement, which can help transform individuals. All right. All right. So anyway, back to you, Martine. So with you, what I'm seeing is that you're carrying, say, the burdens, and again, this is the debt that I was talking about. You're carrying the burdens of your family. It seems like there's a lot of tradition and honor in you. Does that make sense for you? Right? You're
Yes,
a very
yes.
honorable person, and then honorable as a woman as well. But that honor always gets, say, tested for you. You always run into situations where that honor gets tested. And then this is on the man side. This is where they always have to go to war, fight for their country, fight for their family, fight for this. And it gets, again, worse and worse and worse. Because if your honor is always getting tested, the next test has to be grander or more harsher than the test that you had before. Again, just to prove your honor. So family
Mhm.
after family, generation after generation after generation, no matter what they've gone through in the past, wars or whatever, whatever, again, your culture, or your family lineage has gone through, each generation has to be tested on that honor. And that honor gets harder and heavier for you. Does that make sense for you?
Uh, is it why my life has been so hard? Everything has been so hard for me to navigate life.
Yep. Yep. No matter what you do, you get, you're a CEO level, you're making a ton of money. And then if you're running this pattern in your family, again, the money that you're making will not be of value for you, no matter how much money you're making. It won't be of
Yeah,
value. In fact, the more money you make, the less value that you have. Especially if you didn't in today's society like go and work your ass off, go work your, fingers to the bones and so on like that. A lot of times we sit behind a computer nowadays and we work. That's not, say, honorable in most cultures, by the way. So that theme of just like sitting at home and just typing on a computer, that doesn't create, say, intrinsic value if you think about it. That, say, value system or that mental state has to change, or at a frequency level has to change, that it's like, wait a second, we don't have to work our ass off. We don't have to work our, fingers to the bone. We don't have to sacrifice our physical form to create, say, food on the table. We're still running that. And if we're not doing that, for you, take a breath in. I'm just helping you remove all that. For you, if you're not doing that, then there's no value for you. Hence, there's no honor for you. Hence, if you got a hugely successful job, you'd go, fuck, is this it? Does that make sense for you?
yeah. I am. I feel like I should have been in a higher level of service.
Yep.
but I'm still, at a job right now.
Yeah. So again, no matter what level of service that you have, it's never going to be good enough in a very short period of time. Okay.
Mm.
So you're facing that, and you've done say again, you're off and on with XI, but you're facing that challenge because that structure, that humanity, not it's not just you, Martina, it's your family value structure that is being questioned. Right now, guys, it's the best time because the universe is pushing against the human species and going, hey guys, you know what? You need to wake up and you need to they be accountable for what you're creating here. Hence, we're all feeling the push or the pinch to say clean up and justify what we're doing, or if it's not working, we have to change. So you are very say clean, so to speak. You've cleaned out a lot of stuff, even if you've done sporadic XI, but you're carrying the burdens of your family and you're carrying the burdens of your people around you because that's what you do to be honorable.
So how do I let go
Right.
of that, all this?
Well, I was just going to ask you, do you want to let go of it?
Yes. Let go.
Okay.
Be free.
Yes. So, yeah. So it's not just you, a lot of you. And again, comment in. How many of you all go, gosh, you know what? I'm carrying the burdens of my family. I have to carry the torch or the honor for my family. Right. Especially if you have gone through war, if your family is like a war hero type situation, right? That might not be you, but I'm just talking over in general for you. So take a deep breath in. Was your family in war, hon, by the way?
No, I'm from Haiti. No, not that I know of.
Okay. I just see um, your grandfather.
Mhm.
Did he escape something? Or your great grandfather?
Yes, he did escape something in Haiti. Yeah, it was in politics and he almost died. Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
all right. So let's clean that up because that pattern, and again, the way I can read your great grandfather or grandfather, whichever, is because that genetic, say, frequency is still entrained in you. So you would have to say escape something. Get it? So
Wow.
hence your life, you always have to say escape or move away from a
Yes.
relationship or get away from something or whatever. Those
Yes.
kind of patterns come through, right?
Hmm.
So take a breath
Yes.
in again. So let's disconnect. You're really ready. It's the end of the year, so we can use that. And you said you
Yes.
were in Haiti, right? You're Haitian?
I'm from Haiti, yes. But I live
Okay.
in Florida, yes. Hmm.
Okay. So you're from Haiti. That whole country, just think of it, guys, has you walk, you go in there and you're literally inundated by, say, lack, just right off the bat, no matter how wealthy you are. It's just
Hmm.
lack. Okay.
Yes, it
Uh,
is. Especially now, it's chaotic.
Yep, absolutely. So again,
Mhm.
those parts of the world have to be removed. Again, you don't do ethnic cleansing or anything like that because that doesn't help. The frequency of that, say, area has to be cleansed, not ethnic cleansing or anything. Again, the governments and all that got it all fucked up. What we do is like you clean up the frequency of the space in that area, that country, and you'll start to see that actually that country will flourish for you. And it's happened in people's homes, guys, or in special places that we've cleaned out, right? So with the way you can do that again for you, Martin, is like let's just remove all that stuff from you, and then you're devout or disconnected, void of, say, the patterns of your culture, of your
Yes.
family, and then you
Hmm.
become you, a non-Haitian, and then you can get the benefits of being Haitian, but not all the garbage that's
Hmm.
out there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Somebody's talking about
Yes.
voodoo and all that stuff. They probably
Yes.
practiced a lot of, say, dark magic in
Yes, they
in
do.
that area
Yes.
way back in the day. That dark magic literally sucks the vibrancy of that
Hmm.
people
Hmm.
there or the culture,
Yes.
even the land there. All right. So,
Hmm.
okay. So what I was doing for you, hon, is just removing all that contract because that's not you. Okay. So,
Yes.
how are you feeling as we end?
I feel lighter.
Good.
So
Very
much
nice.
lighter.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and it's not a psychology thing. Again, I didn't walk you through a mental state or anything. Um, Although mentally now you have to what for many of you, so we don't go over it again. What you'll feel, just like many of you on this call, is that you'll feel your new self lighter and all that, and then you'll feel the burdens of what you're leaving behind. So just leave whatever that you need to behind. Okay, hon?
Yes. Beautiful.
Nice job.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. We'll go to Mark.
Thank
Hi, Mas.
Hey, Mark, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well. Anything special you want to work on, my friend?
Um, yeah, I mean, I've been doing XI now for 4 years. I've also
Hmm.
my fiance's been doing
Awesome.
it
Um,
for longer. She's been doing it for 8 years.
okay.
We're getting married
Beautiful.
this year, and
Beautiful.
so our circumstances are changing really.
Hmm.
Not along aside our name is changing. Our circumstances are. Last year I was in a real dead end job. I was going nowhere.
Yeah.
um, Using XI, and I also we studied spiritual law
Hmm.
and law of attraction.
Hmm.
So now I'm running two businesses. Things have really
Awesome.
improved, and I mean that's a lot to do with you. We've got to say a big thank you
Yep.
to you. I've cleared all my lineage. I've cleared all the
Yep.
problems.
Hmm.
We're in a very calm and lovely place. Um, the thing is
Beautiful.
now, I'm just about to start a third business,
Hmm.
um,
Okay.
which which I'm a bit whether to do or not really.
Yeah.
Which is again to do with spiritual laws really. They
Yes.
come and that type of thing.
Yeah.
My fiance, she's got a good job,
Hmm.
but we live apart. And the
Yep.
thing is, we're getting married this year, so
Hmm.
we need to be more together. So we need
Yes.
to move in together, and so it's I just need a bit of help deciding where I'm going really with that really.
Yep.
So
Yeah. So, you're, as we get married, obviously, you get to a different level, right?
yeah,
Whether it's like a spiritual marriage or it's like a physical marriage where you sign a contract. But as you come together closer, which is really beautiful, I see you guys have changed quite a bit. And again, hopefully you heard what Mark was talking about, the frequencies of money. This time you're doing money right. Basically, you're doing the business right. And as you've noticed, the business actually say nurtures you, and that's the way it should be. The business should nurture you then rather than say destroy you or you become a slave to money or you become a slave to time, right? Because people go with time is money. Okay. That's one of the things that I want to work on with you. So just take a breath in, my friend. Your hips, by the way. Um, um, I'm not a doctor, but in your family, it just seems like as you age, your bones start to kind of get chalky, so to speak. So you don't want to have that. Okay. And that's real abundance, right? It's not just about having a shitload of money and being ill and you can't do anything like a lot of days. Like um, look at a lot of the high level people. God, I forgot like not Charles Schwab, but Carl Schwab, and um, who's that other guy? They're really old and disgusting. You don't want to be that way. You don't want to be that kind of wealthy individual, by the way. So take a breath in. So what you're doing is like old wealth, basically, or wealth the old way, owns you. Okay. What you've done is like in your trajectory, it's like, fuck that. I'm gonna pull back and understand through spiritual awakening, reading text and scripture and putting an XI say lens on it and going, oh, this is what they really mean. That's what you've done when you've done that spiritual say read spiritual teachings. Does that make sense for you,
yeah,
Mark?
absolutely, yes.
Yeah. You pull it away and you go, oh, this is what it's really meant, not, word by word. So you read between the lines, basically, and got the real essence or the real value of what they were saying. Yeah, George Soros.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
that's it.
So George, if you look at George Soros, man, he looks ill, so and
Yeah,
all messed up. Anyway, so that's that wealth. It just like sucks the life out of you. No matter how, say again, this is the pattern that you were running in the past. Wealth would literally destroy you. The more wealth that you would have, you'd get
yeah,
aged, you'd get You'd be like that in the Simpsons, that
Yeah,
old
maybe.
guy.
Yeah,
Uh, you would literally be like that, that's that wealth. So
that's right.
you're pulling away back out, and you're going, no, wealth is this way. So it's really
Yeah,
beautiful. What I'm
yeah,
helping you here today, Mark, obviously it's a longer term process, is that you are going backwards, not going backwards, but you went from say step zero to step say 20. Okay.
yeah,
um and it doesn't matter how the end form, but anyway, you've gone long way from where you were. You've disconnected from your family lineage and so on. But this next level, what you want to do, and why this is why you're here, Mark, is that I want to create a strong foundation for my genetic coding. Literally, it's a genetic coding. So if you guys have kids or whatever, your genetic coding is from step 20, not from your parents' stuff, not from step one.
okay.
And that's how we change society, and that's how we evolve as a human species, by the
Yeah,
way. Yeah, Mr. Burns. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's not, guys, this isn't just about, financial freedom. It's about, say, independence or abundance at a genetic level. Okay. So again, I don't know if you guys are planning to have kids or whatever, but say that you did, your genetic coding for your kid would start at step, say, 20 or whatever that you go to, 30 or 40, but at the minimum 20, not anything that you've gone before in the past. So that's a real legacy that you're leaving behind,
yeah,
okay? Which is really beautiful. So getting back to you, at a, say, physical, say, detailed level for you, starting a third business, this is where you kind of step back. Okay. And you solidify first that layer that I'm talking
yeah,
about. So again, you're not stepping backwards, or your kids don't have to start from, the scratch
yeah,
again. You want to really solidify your identity of who you are. And then the two businesses that you have right now, you'll start to own them more, and they'll start to perpetuate easier and
yeah.
better for you.
Good.
Okay. And then when you do that, you can actually start, say, that third business, but I don't see it happening right away, because you might be ready for it, but the world is in so much chaos. You want to, say, study the new trends that are coming up. Okay.
Mm.
You want to study the new trends that are coming up and then go forward. Right.
Yeah,
So in this session, what I was helping you with, Mark, is getting the deeper understandings of, say, what wealth really is, now that you're in on the XI wealth train.
yeah.
So congratulations, my friend. Nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah,
No, thank you.
really nice. Yeah. We'll go to Ali. So do you guys see how wealth works? Again, you can have the same amount of wealth. You don't have to destroy yourself. You don't have to do anything like that, guys. You can actually ascend higher. This is where you can have, and next year we're starting more programs on having worldly wealth with universal wisdom. You can have both. You don't have to have one or the other, guys. You can have both. So, all right. So, hey, Alan, how are you, hon?
I'm good, Mas. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, hon. And then you have your grandson, right? You want
Three grandkids, two
right?
grandsons, and one granddaughter.
Okay. Do you want to work on them?
Yes, please. And also, I'm in transition from my to my new place from my old one. I have to sell the house,
Hmm.
and with the money, a little bit of hectic because we borrow some money from our son, and I hope it doesn't affect him.
Yeah. So you borrowed money from your son, you said?
Yes.
Okay. So take a breath in. All right. So in the past, no, you did it fine. And again, it's not about the physical things that you do here, guys, other
Mhm.
than you just don't want to sell your soul. So in the past, you would have been burdened by that. Okay. You would have been, say, under your son's thumb, from what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Rolling Stones song, Under My Thumb. So that kind of deal, because that's the kind of pattern that you would have run in the past, not just with your son, but with your husband, your employer, whatever that you've done in your life. is like you do something or you get something or you borrow something, right? From an individual, and then they own you in the past. Even if it was you got something from your grandson, right? Like they helped you out a little bit, they would own you. So you are free from all that space, which is really nice. So congratulations on that. Let's take a breath in, by the way. This is where a new beginning happens for you. By the way, you look wonderful. How old? Do you mind telling the audience how old you are?
65.
65? You look wonderful for 65,
Thank you.
and you're getting younger and younger. So this is where, in your family, mid 60s, it's like, shit, it's the end of my life. Basically, I'm just gonna wait to die, so to speak, right? In your family, you're beginning a new life. This is where
Yeah,
your life really begins, and this is where you go back into your, say, early 50s, even I would say, and do some of the things that you've done that you want to do in your early 50s. That's gonna be again, so it's a reset of your life. So it's a second chance on life for you. Okay.
thank you.
Um, it also helps your son from what I'm seeing as well, because when you lend money in the proper way, like your son did, and you forced him to do that in the proper way, by the way, because he wanted an attachment on you. Okay, that's how family attachments work, by the way. Somebody does something nice for you, whether it's giving you money or having a place to stay or whatever, and then again, they own you in a bit. So what you did is like, nope, I don't want the burdens of all that family stuff that you're carrying. So it seems like your son is getting more, say, exponentially intelligent as well as you've cleaned up. Does that make sense?
Good. Yes,
Does that make sense?
absolutely.
Are you guys getting along better or deeper?
Better, better.
Better?
Yes,
Okay. Yep, because you're again cleaning out the family, say, genetics, so to speak. And then your grandkids, um, the mom seems to kind of push on the kids, by the way.
yes.
So let's just work on that a little bit.
Mhm.
As she gets more and more worried, and then she suffocates her kids, basically.
Yes, I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the good thing is the father, your son is getting more like a masculine figure. So the two kids, and this is where sexual identities get messed up in today's world. So the two kids have a strong icon of, say, what a man is, what a male identity of the human species are supposed to be. Not discussed on social media or anything, but again, your origin of what a male is in a human species. So again, more of that frequency. So it cleans up the, say, the genetic pooling or sexual identity of your grandkids, by the way. Okay.
Good.
Um, there's a freshness in you. There's a freshness in your new place for you as well, which is really beautiful. Take a breath in, hon. And while we're here, uh, I know you're aging younger, but let's just make sure, again, not a doctor or anything like that, but take a breath in, honey. Is your bones, your skeletal system seems like it's turning younger from what I'm seeing. Does that make sense for you? You're
Yes.
not, yeah, which is really cool, and this is real aging, guys, or youthfulness. So as your bones have, say, a different timestamp, it's not of a 65-year-old, in today's society. Take a breath in. Somebody's saying, Rinky says, yeah, she looks beautiful from inside out. Yeah, you
Thank
look
you.
gorgeous, especially with your culture, the Russian culture.
Sure.
No offense, but let's just say there's a lot of stuff there.
Yep.
Um, yeah. So
Mhm.
back to your bones, hon. So this is where real youth comes in, and this is where the frequency spas that we do come in. As you reset her time step, and what we've done, and we'll just do it a little more for you, Al. Take a breath in again, hon. And you guys as well, listening in. So what happens is like you're 65, physical age 65, but if you reset your timestamp, your cellular, say, clock to, say, like mid 50s, or let's just jump you back to your early 50s, okay, if you don't
Yes.
mind. Um,
Yeah.
I know you've gone through this before, so that's why you're just so excited. It's like, yes. And it does really work, guys. So take a breath in again, hon. Uh, so what happens is your cellular clock goes, hey, wait a second, I'm in my 50s, not 65. And then as your cells say regenerate themselves like in about 6 months, she will actually look younger in 6 months than she does even today. If you've seen pictures of me from like 10 years ago to where I am today, again with no surgeries or anything like that, just straight frequencies. Um, this is where it happens. This is how it happens. So you're actually going back. So as you get more, say, a youthful bone structure, hon, what'll happen for you is that your blood starts to regenerate as a youthful blood. And then obviously that's the key of youthfulness. So your blood regenerates from what I'm saying into a more youthful persona. Hence your skin and so on starts to youth uh, or age younger. That makes sense for you? So
Thank you
happy New Year,
so
son.
much. Yes, I'm
Yeah,
so
you're so
excited.
welcome, sweetie.
Also, the
Uh,
question about my house. I have to sell my house.
mhm.
What do I change in myself to make this process like easier now?
It's just a matter of time, huh? In the next, but I do see in the next 1 or 2 months, February and March, I see your house selling. So
Good.
just a
Thank
matter of
you.
time. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
We'll go to was it Carissa and then to Tara.
Carissa, yes, hi.
Hey, Carissa, how are you, hon?
Great, thank you.
Good. Anything special you want to work on? Your multiple, say, situations that you're,
Yeah, I have a real issue with money.
yeah.
A lot of debt. I can generate it, but then it just goes out. It just never stays. And I've borrowed money from my son as well, and some dynamics like that.
Mhm.
So, yeah, just a weird money dynamic in general.
Yeah. So take a breath in, Carissa. So it's not that you have multiple personalities, hon. Um, but do you ever feel like you're extending yourself way too much towards other people? Or you have too many, say, uh like pots on the fire. Is that the expression?
Yes,
Does that make sense?
definitely.
You've got so many things
Yes.
going on. Okay. So you might want to go, well, at a deeper level, for me at an XI level, because we're always at the first principle level or the core level on what happens. Um, take a breath in. And somebody said, hey, I look more masculine. Thanks, guys. Anyway, so back to you, Carissa. Take a breath in again and just notice your stomach. One, again, not a doctor, but I see that you might have too much candida. How's your, and then we'll talk about your wealth, by the way. But let's get you physically abundant, okay? Because if you don't have your health, no matter how much money, it's not worth it. Um, um, you might have too much candida for you. Do you eat a lot of sugars? Oh, you're sensitive to sugars.
I'm sensitive. I do have SIBO, and I've had a lot of, yeah, digestive stomach problems most of my life.
Okay. Okay. So again, so if we correct it at a frequency level, okay, hopefully it'll help you physically, and this is where you would go get help, and the help will actually will sustain itself, or you can get over this hump of having like stomach issues that I see that you do. Does that make sense to you?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah. So again, sorry, but take a breath in, and for all you as well, just notice your gut. I do see that you don't have the right type of bacteria for you for some reason. And again, the base reason I'll tell you. But over time, it's manifested in itself. So you want to correct that because as you age, as you get older, hun, again, the bones and so on, start getting chelated or eaten away um, because of the bacteria. Okay. I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but again, I'm just telling you ahead of time so you can just disconnect from that pattern. Um, Okay. So when I said you have multiple personalities, basically it's like somebody said here, you have too much iron in the fire. Okay. You're always trying to please a lot of people for you. Your life is really not your own. Does that make sense to you? So, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So
Very much.
you have like say 6 different say realities that are open, not personalities but realities that are open for you. So this kind of goes back, and this is what's so cool, whatever you've done with XI, is that you're getting to that level. It's like, you know what, I can leave those personalities behind, which is really nice for you, Carissa. So in this session, can we leave some of those personalities or identities or realities behind, so you just create one? Okay. And I'll tell you how
Yes.
that is tied into your financial issues for many of you as well. All right. So back in the day, it just seems like mom wanted you to go one direction, dad wanted you to go to another direction, you wanted to go into another direction, your friends wanted you to go in another direction. Does that make sense to you? So you're a people
Yes.
pleaser in a way, although you don't like people, but you kind of like people, or you're succumb to people, that kind of deal, if that makes sense. By the way, you make a really good people
Yes.
person because you don't like people, which is kind of crazy, but people who don't like people actually are better like customer care, customer representatives, PR people and so on like that. But anyway, that's just a side note that we teach on the business side of XI. So basically what you do is like, well, you know what? I kind of know who I am, or I don't know, but I want to find out. So I'm just going to go, and when I'm with mom, I'm just going to go and please mom and just morph into what mom is. So you've done that enough time that basically what you do is you step into mom's identity, and then you morph into her, right? And you like the same things, and you get along fine and everything like that. When you're with dad, you create another reality. It's dad's reality that you step into. Does that make sense for you? Okay. So, okay, think of
Yes.
it this way. Close your eyes, take a breath in, notice your spine, and then again, your spine of your mid back. Working on a couple things for you all, not just Carissa here, but again, physical issues and then this type of issues. Imagine you have 6 houses. Okay. Okay. You are supporting 6 houses. One is your mom's house. The other is your father's house, even if they're not around right now, even if they got nothing to do with you or they're long gone. You've got 4 other houses, maybe an ex that you had that you're still operating or supporting, by the way, if that makes sense. You've got an ex, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're still supporting him frequency level, because that house that he lived in, or that reality that say you purchased, basically, you still support that. So again, you have 6 houses on that you're supporting. In the physical realm, what that turns into is that you are, say, 6 different people, one person creating wealth for you.
Mm.
Get it? If you were a
Yeah.
cell phone, you would have one battery, 6 realities, 6 cell phones that you would be attached into. How long do you think that battery would last on a cell phone? So,
Not long.
yeah. So imagine you would have to create 6 times the wealth for you to feel like, okay, I'm finally stable. Does that make sense for you, Hun? Okay. So can we
Yeah.
consolidate those homes? Because you're paying mortgages, the water bill and taxes and all those things. And I think you kind of find that, and then you borrow money, which again is another house that you create. So it doesn't work out well, right? It's that perpetual borrowing. So take a breath in. Hun. All right. So let's just sell off all those houses. And we don't have time right here, but in the next, say, 2, 3 weeks, you'll go, I wonder if my houses have sold. And you check, and you can see 6 houses clearly, right? I set that up for you. And by the way, XI visuals are very different than, say, visuals that a Joe Dispenza or something like that does. These are more gauges for you. for you on how your frequencies run. Notice your neck as well. We're working on a lot of body structure. So if you're not feeling good, you're just, let's just say you're detoxing or letting go of a lot of garbage, physical garbage, by the way. So what you would do is go, I wonder the houses that have sold. And then you want to get to the level. And then if they haven't sold or there's still houses there, you basically go, well, what can I do or what patterns can I release? It's not about other people or your physical situation, although your physical situation will improve radically. And what you'll do is like, what patterns can I remove so I can sell these houses? Okay. So that those things of creating, opening up realities for you will disappear. And then as you sell these houses, you'll see that the money that you make will last longer for you. Okay. And you'll feel more
Okay.
whole or more complete. How do you feel it right now, by the way?
Yeah, tingly.
Tingly? Because
Yeah,
you're
me
really
too.
coming into this space of your own, which is really beautiful, which is really nice. So as you again, when you get to the point, hon, you get to the point where it's just your house that you're living in your mental space, and then this is where you really start to say create money for you, or you can hold on to your savings and so on like that.
Hmm.
Okay, and that's where things
Beautiful.
get really nice. So, all right, nice job, really nice job. We'll go on to Tara. Hi, Tara.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing really well. How are you, hon?
I'm doing much better. Yeah, I've done
Good.
some stuff a lot with you so far. I'm
Mhm.
still a new user. But my main thing that I've noticed is a pretty big pattern with my mom and I both is
Yeah.
we tend to purchase food and then it goes to waste, or we purchase things and then we donate them. And then for me, it also seems like I'll be in a great financial situation. I make pretty good money at my job, but I'm also finding I have to work 3 jobs in order to make it. But then I'm still constantly in debt. I pay my credit cards and then I go back into debt. I pay
Yep.
off my truck or accidents, and then I'm right back into that as well.
Yep.
So,
Take a breath in, hon. Yep. So Tara, what happens for you, hon, is that you run a did you back in the day, hon? Did your family get into cults or seances and customs or traditions like that, or did you?
I'm not sure. I did know that my grandmother seemed pretty intense when I seen a picture of her. She was pretty, my great grandmother, I should say. But I do know that my grandmother was a very religious, my mother's mom was a very religious lady. I think right after my mom was born, she became very Jesus and stuff. So,
Really like that staunch or strict religion. Again, almost like a cult type religion. No offense, hon,
yeah.
but so when people do that, hon, or
Mm.
when families do that, again, you're carrying those burdens. By the way, the sins of the father, as in those religions would put it. Take
My
a breath in.
father. Oh.
So basically, what you do. Somebody says, I feel like she's underwater because she is.
Ah,
So in a nutshell, I mean, you guys are your abilities are coming up really well. So nice job, guys. That's why these Moss on Sundays are so great, by the way, because you can learn a lot from other people's experiences. So Tara, basically what you've done, or what your grandmother or great grandmothers have done, great, great grandparents, so to speak, is that they've literally sold your soul, their future, the future of that family. Okay. Um, in and it's not because they did it in a ruthless way. Like Charles Schwab, not Charles Schwab, but Carl Schwab and all those people, George Soros, not in that way, but in your way is basically what they've done is like, because I don't want you to go to hell, I'm
mm,
going to get really strict and push that religion. Hence, when you were born, your grandmother got really, really religious and really, really say, um, well, she basically you live in sin. So to atone for those sins, hon, you would have
mm,
to sacrifice whatever. Back in the day, way back in the day, tribes would go, shit, you know what? Bad weather, our crops weren't good. Let's donate our sheep, right? Let's sacrifice our sheep. Let's sacrifice. And eventually that shit didn't work. So it's like, well, let's sacrifice our kids. Back in the Egyptian culture and the Greek culture, it's like we're gonna sacrifice these beautiful kids and so on like that. So take a breath in, hon. So basically, you're a sacrificial lamb, Tara. Simple as that. So hence, a sacrificial lamb, no matter how much money you make, you would have to sacrifice it to atone for your sins that not even yours. So again, it goes back to what I was talking about. So if I were you all listening to this, I would go back, and now that we've read some of these people, some of the experiences, go back and listen to the first part of my talk on this Moss on Sunday, and you go, oh, that's what he means if you didn't understand it quite well. Right? So in the session, what I was helping you with is, can I release that contract for you?
Yes, please.
So you're
Please.
not the sacrificial.
Yes, please.
Right?
Very much so.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and Billy's got a great idea, guys. Just invest 10% of your income and just put it away somewhere, right? So
Sure.
breath in again. There's a really small book. I think it's called The Richest Man in Babylon or something like that. It's a really simple book, guys. Simple methods. You're actually gone past that, by the way,
Okay.
Tara. But again, your process is like you make enough money, you pay off enough money, but again, you have to get into debt or pay or sacrifice so you can feel good about yourself, so to speak. So you're not a sinner. Get it?
Yeah.
So you're good. I disconnect this contract. So it is a contract because it is signed. So the difference between a pattern and a contract, most people think they have contracts. Usually it's patterns though. Yours is real contract. So somewhere in your family lineage, they contracted with the religion to go, okay, I'm just going to sacrifice everything that I am or of physical value so I can understand the love of God. Basically, that's the deep level contract that somebody signed off for you. Okay. So so Tara, take a breath in for Tara, and then anybody else that wants to break from this contract if you feel like you have it. Okay. There we go. Another breath in. Notice your midsection. You also say sacrifice your feminine identity as well. So you feel, say, masculine, if that makes sense for you. Okay.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. So this is where intimacy, relationships and so on like that, get a little messed up. And if
Yeah.
you're younger, say like in your, teens, early teens especially, okay, and this isn't you, but I'm just giving you an example on the state of, say, the world. This is where your identity gets questioned by you, 13, 14. It's like, gosh, you know what? Do I prefer men or do I prefer women? That kind of deal.
Okay.
If that makes sense for you. Okay.
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
Yeah. So can we get rid of that stuff as well, hon?
Yes, please. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So when you're sacrificing yourself in the religious, say, atonement that many people do, and notice again your groin area on your lower section. There we go. Nice. So just really helping you release that contract for you, breaking that contract. And it is a contract. And the big thing about contracts, son, is that when you break it, somehow it's like they go, well, we need to get paid. So you'll kind of go through some like rough patches, so to speak, a little bit, and you go, no, that's not my contract. I didn't sign it. That was not my signature on it. Okay. You don't get involved in the contract. It may morph into something physical, like sometimes. So for you all that that went through this exercise, something so they want to recontract with you, whether it's at a frequency level, or at a physical level, somebody wants and it doesn't feel like a good deal for you, then don't do it. No matter how good the rate looks or the possibilities look, it's not a good deal for you. And that's how because I can break the contract for you, but you again would have to confirm that contract disconnect.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
how are you feeling, by the way? Do you feel like you could just
I feel great. I definitely felt a lot of moving out. I definitely felt my ribs and stuff coming more inward as far as like the split in my body. I definitely felt things moving and releasing. Yes, I definitely feel taller
yeah,
and I
it's
can breathe.
beautiful.
I can breathe
Yeah.
much better.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then this way you can sustain yourself and you'll see that food and whatever lasts longer for you and you're not
Yes.
going to
Oh,
waste, so to speak. Okay.
oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
Yes, that's great.
Right
Awesome.
on. Yeah, at as we end, guys, at a deeper level. So again, like in her case, her food, like they buy food and it spoils, or they go shopping. How many of you go shopping, or used to go shopping, and then the bags would still be sitting in your closet like 6 months later. You didn't even open that bag up, right? Basically, you're sacrificing yourself. This is where in the Buddhist culture and so on, it's a takeoff of that, is that where people leave fruits and vegetables and whatever to the gods. That's basically what it boils down to. And obviously those gods, they don't need the fruits and vegetables and whatever people live. It'd be better off in those cultures, and again, no offense, it'd be better off to actually bless people who are actually hungry and starving in those countries, giving it to them, and the gods would be happy because again, the gods don't eat that stuff anyway. So, or maybe you could bless it and then they could give it to the poor people. Maybe that's a better way. All right. So, let's just take a couple minutes, guys. I can scan you real quick. I know it's kind of going over time, but I'll just scan a couple people. Uh, This one, Basque, feels like this in my feels. You feel that in your chest. Yeah, you're releasing a lot of stuff, Bess, off your chest. Hope my daughter breaks free one day. Yeah. So with that, guys, as you break free, and that's how powerful XI is. As you break free, what'll happen for you is that your children, especially if they're younger, they get to break free as well, because that's how genetics work. As you change, the genetics of your kids change, right? All right. Con man contracts. Yep. Exactly. That's what Didi would love a scan. So for you, hun, you're overcoming a burden or a death or something like that. You're overcoming it and you're turning it around where in the past it would have destroyed you. That burden would have just like made you heavy for the rest of your life. You're actually, say, nurturing from that pattern. You're actually turning it into, say, rich, fertile soil. So whoever passed away or a death of something, it could be a business, a relationship, or a physical death. But basically what's happening is you're turning that opportunity, instead of burying you and you're decaying, like most deaths happen, what you're doing is like, okay, let's turn that, say, into nutrient soil, and then we're gonna come up. Um, Break free my kids. Can I get a scan? Selma. Oh, and by the way, Faye has a great, she wants to talk to you all about something as well. So I'll just do one more. Selma here. Where is she? Oh, I lost it. Huh? Oh, here he is. How else can I get a scan? Selma. So yeah, so for you, you're becoming a stronger female, from what I'm seeing. Before, you would succumb to a masculine frequency, or support, say, masculine, say, dominance, so to speak, or something to that effect. Or maybe you hung around with too many brothers and so on, like that, to that tomboyish type. But you're coming more into, say, a feminine frequency, and then wealth will actually, say, enhance you. So again, that's which is really beautiful, on that. And then you become more nurturing of yourself, by the way. Okay. Let's see, one more, and then we'll give it off to Feifei here. Um, Paula, please scan me. I cannot get a job. Sure. So you in your life, and I'll just say it straight out, Paul, there's always an excuse for you. Okay. Back in the day, say for example that your parents wanted you to do something, but you didn't want to do it because you're selling yourself if you did it, right? Because it's not pure for you. And then what would happen is like you'd create yourself sick, although you weren't sick. So that's that excuse. It worked so well for you, but now life is an excuse for you, right? So life is an excuse for you not to be in life, so to speak. So let's break that pattern from you. And this is where you can actually enjoy yourself. Because even if you did get a job, it wouldn't be, say, nutritious for you, or you'd feel more hollow for you. But as you become more complete, and then the abundance will start to pour in for you. Does that make sense? All right. So Bethe, do you want to come up and huh? Closer? There we go. This is there you go, babe.
Oh,
This
it's
is
being
for those of
secret.
you who know, of course. This is lovely Faye, my wife.
Happy New Year, everyone. I really would love to come on and thank you for 2023. It has been quite a year. And I just did a, spatial referencing this morning, spatial referencing myself today and against myself in January 1st,
Ooh, what a great idea.
2023.
Yeah.
Yes. And to see where I was, right here, where I was and where I am now, and I collapsed time and space. It just feels like it was just yesterday. And same thing as when I first met Moss about 12 years ago. I was there and now I am today. And then I collapsed space and time. And it feels like if I can go this I can grow this much, it's lifetime's work. But tomorrow is January 1st. Again, how much further that I can go. That's the exercise I can all do.
Absolutely. And again, great idea, guys. When you get time on your own, collapse time, go back and go like like
Spatial
I said,
referencing.
spatial reference and go back to the first year, where you started, or go back to when you started XI, or go back to your childhood and again, collapse time like she did, and it'll help you grow and expand. So thank you for that.
Yeah. So over the years, I know Mas over the years have talked about women, XI Women program, and the request for it and questions for it has become more and more and more over the years. And I just want to share some of my own journeys. I have been very quiet about it. I have actually never felt I have felt excitement here and there. I have had questions, ideas, concepts here and there over the years. The funny thing is this year is very strange. This year is the most challenging years. I met many demons of my own, many challenges, many painful experience, self-inflicted. But after walking through all this year, what I realized is all this excitement and everything actually went flat. It went very flat for me. I didn't quite understand why. And I didn't really want to do anything. I don't think I should teach or I should talk about anything. I just didn't feel I even know anything. I had anything to share. Also, I was looking at all the programs that existing out there on the marketplace, and I didn't really feel very motivated or inspired by anything. And then I realized maybe after doing 12 years of XI, I had walked into this uncharted territory. I actually don't have language. What happened?
That's okay.
Oh, I
you're
thought
here.
we went offline.
No,
Sorry.
you're fine.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So actually, I think after walking 12 years in XI, maybe I just don't have the language to articulate where I am, what I know, who I have become, because there is no more referencing anymore. I couldn't have anything to reference anymore. But it's really interesting to see the journey when I was doing the spatial referencing this morning. But another thing's really interesting that's happened is in the last 2 months. It's only happened twice in my life. The first time is right before I met Moss about 12 years ago. I felt this this like a rolling thunder. It's almost like a volcano inside my belly start growing, start growing, start growing. That's 12 years ago. Then I met Mas, and something happened. And then it happened
It's okay.
again about 2 months ago. I just start feeling this volcano again in my belly. It's growing daily, increasingly growing force inside of me. And now, Mas just talked about abundance today. I just really felt I felt so pregnant with the abundance of this new frequency. For the first time in my life, I felt I am actually ready to give birth to this new outside woman. I don't know what it is, but it feels amazing. It feels alive. It feels ready to come into this new world in this new year. So it's not an announcement where it's just an update. I think what I would like to do is probably rolling out something. I don't know what it is still, but it feels exciting. It feels alive. I think it probably be something more grounded in this reality, but it's grounded in this reality with exact principles. So it's something practical, logical. On the other side, magical, because I love magic. I believe in magic. I think magic is actually the nature, the true order of nature. And with common sense and enlightened wisdom. Well, the enlightened wisdom is not mine, just like common sense is not mine, but it's all those things we learned, all those journeys that we walked, all those years that when we clock time and space is the highest wisdom with today's common sense. So I still don't know what it is, but I know it will be so different. It's in uncharted territory. And since I don't know what it is, I'm going to roll it out sometime, maybe in the middle of the year. But meanwhile, I would like to do some small group. Maybe XI focus group is a small group. I would like to get together with small group of women who's been doing XI for a while to see what we can collectively co-create something. We can collectively give birth to this new consciousness, some new ideas. These small focus groups just be very randomly, spontaneously gathering. For example, I'm going to California next week, and we are going to do some filming because Masni's new video, new pictures. We'll do
To show you how young I'm of aging over the years,
some.
and her as well. I actually froze her in time, guys.
Don't say that. um,
But not in wisdom, just beauty, right?
okay, I forgot what to say. Okay, so we're gonna be in California filming, making taking some new pictures from us and doing some filming at my favorite hotel is the Fairmont Grand Del Mar. So I'll host a small, we have a small suite, so we're gonna host a small, maybe just 10 people, 13 the most. And I know people are registering for the sessions that day. So if it's on Saturday, January 6th, so it's for ladies. So the ladies who have registered for the sessions, you are welcome to stay and we can have a little chat. I don't mean to exclude the men from women or exclude women from the men, because I have noticed when you have a group of women talking freely and one man walks in, the entire dynamic changes. Same thing as a room full of men, when one woman walks in and the whole dynamic changes. So I just really want to preserve the raw, the connectedness and the purity of that conversation, of the emotion, and of the idea, the frequency that's flowing through. And with men, I would love to do small focus sessions with the men only as well. And I'll marry the two. But in the process of my research, I just want to be very, very precise. And I want to hear the rawness, the most honest comments and the frequency that I would love to receive. So the first small access focus group for women is this Saturday at the Fairmont Grand Del Mar, and whoever registered for the sessions earlier that day, if you're a lady, you're welcome to stay, and you're a gentleman, and I'll schedule another time to chat with you as well. And I'll just maybe text some people to come join me. The place is very small, so don't take it personally if you didn't receive any text. You can always text me if the place is not filled. And of course, you're welcome to join us. So that's what I have to say. And thank you so much for this year.
So cute.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year's, guys. Yeah, one of the things I love about Faye, amongst many, obviously, is that she wants to do things right, which is really cool. And and now she's transformed so much. And I know she was a beautiful woman, in the past, but now she really owns her space, which is really cool. And many of you women that I've seen, you own your space, your identity of who you are as a solid woman. I mean, look at Allah that we talked about. Beautiful, right? Owning her space. So now that paradigm is set, not just as an individual level, at a group dynamic or human species level. Now we can get out there and talk about it, and people, women like you and guys as well, we'll do something. Somebody was mentioning about doing something with Zach. Yeah, we'll do that. That's in the works as well, guys. So thank you for that. But yes, so now that she's like solid, and it's like, okay, I can handle this space, which is really beautiful. We're going to do more and more. And I've always wanted her, because Faye, she's got beautiful thoughts that I wanted to share with you all on how to be a powerful woman, which actually, listening to it as a guy, you actually become, say, a powerful man as well. Hence, take a look at me. Thanks, sweetie. So,
you're welcome.
all right. Some of you were also asking about how to use spatial reference. Again, the basic spatial referencing that we teach in the 18 days, guys, is about, the furniture's over there, I'm over here. Spatial referencing is you go back, go back to some of the things that you did, first of the year last year. This past year, right? January 1st of 2023, and see how the person that you were back then compared to where you are today. So, and notice the distance, not the thoughts or emotions, or although those will show up, but notice the distance on how you create it in your mind's eye. Okay. Especially if you've done the XI journey, it's very, very accurate, the gauge. So if you see yourself, and you can do this now, guys. So just think back, take a breath in, think back to January of 2023, and notice how far your old self is compared to where you are today. Okay. If it's closer, that means you're still entangled with some of this stuff. If it's right next to you, it means, again, it's a good thing. You've learned how to remove yourself, from your old self. If it's really, really far away, congratulations. You've really transformed. And this goes beyond, say, the concepts of psychology or anything like that. It literally allows you to distinguish how far you removed yourself from the dimensions or the reality of how you create yourself. So it's very, very simple, guys. All right. So hopefully we'll see you in the New Year's. Blessings to you all and your family. All right.
Join us on the cruise.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And join us on the cruise, by the way. So
okay. Happy New Year.
take care, guys. Bye-bye.